The 14A District Court for County of Washington, State of Michigan is back in session. The Honorable Judge Cedric Simpson presiding.
You may be seated. All right. Court does call the case of the people versus Daniel Field.
Echelon for people.
State your name, sir. All right, Mr. Magoo. As with every proceeding, I do have to advise you that you are before the court on a charge of resisting and obstructing a police officer. As we have been through it before, I'm not going to ask you to acknowledge any of this. I think that you understand what I am indicating. That is a felony punishable by up to 2 years incarceration, $2,000 fine plus court costs. I would apprise you have elected to represent yourself in this matter. There are indeed perils with representing yourself. I will also advise you that you are held to the same standards as anyone else conducting a proceeding before this court, whether it be with regard to evidence, the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, and the like. And court is not going to show you any favoritism. I'm not going to treat you better or worse than either side. If, I was indicating, you elected to represent yourself, if at any time you wish to be represented by an attorney, could not afford to hire one, you have to inform the court of that. The court will assure that you will have counsel. All right. Other people? Yes, sir.
Just, Your Honor, for the record, I'm here. I'm not here on a general appearance. I'm here as making a special appearance. I do not, nor have I ever consented to the personal jurisdiction matter of the court. I'm here to specifically cross-examine my accusers. And with that being said,
Well, let me just put it to you this way. This court has jurisdiction over you as a person. I also have jurisdiction over the subject matter of these proceedings. So while you may disagree, I think your position is legally insufficient.
I just wanted to notify.
Your position is legally insufficient and irrelevant to anything that we have to do right now. Am I clear? Thank you. Are the people ready to proceed?
We are, Your Honor.
You may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. With consent, that we will waive opening, and I will call Officer.
I don't waive opening. With what consent? What was that? You said with my consent. I didn't consent. What was that? I just asked some clarification.
You're not required to give an opening at preliminary examination, but if you'd like to, Ms. Lundy.
I do not choose to give an opening.
All right, very good. Thank you. All right, let me call your first witness.
Darnell Tyson.
Sir, please come forward to be sworn.
Your Honor, Michigan Rule of Evidence 615. I am at my request to ask the other officers that will be giving testimony against me. I asked that they leave the room.
Are you making a motion to sequester?
Yes.
In your response to the people?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Witnesses that will testify are hereby ordered sequestered. Thank you.
I wasn't clear on what rule that was cited, but
Wasn't,
thank you.
but I got what he was getting at.
You shall to infer the testimony about you be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so you got. So, say spell your first and last name for the record.
Darnell Tyson, DARNELLTYSON.
Thank you. You may inquire.
Thank you. Good afternoon, sir. How are you employed?
The Felony Police Department.
And how long have you been employed in that position?
Since April of 20, well, once we found I've been on the road since April of last year.
April of 24?
That's fine.
In what capacity are you employed by the Ypsilanti Police Department? A police officer? Were you working on October 11th, 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
What shift were you on that day?
Second shift nights.
What is nights?
6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
6 p.m. to 6 a.m. And what were you wearing that day?
My uniform, my family uniform.
Were you displaying your badge of office? Were you operating a patrol car or a passenger in a patrol car?
Yes, ma'am. Hold on.
Did you happen to come into contact with anybody who's currently in the courtroom on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
Who was that?
Ms. Brooke.
And can you tell me where he's sitting and something that he's wearing, please?
He's wearing a black suit. He's sitting at the table right behind you, right?
Your Honor, may the record reflect the witness identify the defendant.
That objection record shall so reflect.
Where did you come into contact with him?
On Michigan Ave, I can't remember the exact address, but it's right behind Buffer Reds.
Is that in the city of Ypsilanti, county of Washtenaw, state of Michigan? And when you got to that location, do you recall about what time it was? Nighttime or daytime?
It was early morning.
Early morning? When you got to that location, what did you observe?
It was two people by a car. One was sitting by the front passenger tire and one was standing to his left over him.
Were either one of those people the defendant?
Yes.
Where was the defendant?
He was the person standing up next to the person that was sitting on the ground.
Who else was there when you were on scene?
Myself, Officer Smith, Sergeant Gibbs, Mr. Magoo, and Officer Chief, and there was his friend, I don't remember his friend's name.
The person that was sitting by the passenger side of the tire was Mr. Magoo's friend?
Yes.
That's when you say his friend, that's who you're referring to?
Yes.
What happened when you got up to the area where Mr. Magoo and his friend were located?
We observed his friend sitting on the ground. We saw a case of open, I think it was seltzer waters and fireball on the ground. We walked over because we were dispatched to that area for a fight. The description we got of the people involved in the fight did not fit them. But when we saw the gentleman sitting on the ground, kind of slumped over, we just stepped over because we were just trying to see if he was all right.
So you said fireball. Is that on something? Is that a brand name, something? Alcohol. What happened next?
We were just trying to get a clear understanding of what was going on. Like I said, we witnessed the guy who was sitting on the ground, kind of slumped over. So I presume that he might have been under the influence of alcohol, seeing that we had the seltzer waters and the fireball there. But we were just trying to see if he needed any medical assistance.
Would it be fair to say that Sergeant Gibbs took the lead a little bit when approaching?
Definitely.
After Sergeant Gibbs approached the two men, what happened next?
Sergeant Gibbs gave Mr. Magoo a couple of directives. He asked him to step away. I believe he asked him at least 2 or 3 times to just leave. To which Mr. Magoo did not. At that point, Sergeant Gibbs asked him to leave again. He did not. At that point, we went hands on for obstructing our ability to investigate what was going on with the gentleman sitting on the ground.
What happened after you went hands on?
We took Mr. Magoo kind of around to where the car was. We put handcuffs on him. We walked him over to Sergeant Gibbs' patrol vehicle. At that point, as we were going to put him in the vehicle, we had to search anybody that, before we could put him into the vehicle. So as we were doing I wasn't doing a search. Officer Smith was. I was just there to keep control of Mr. Magoo at that point.
In what way were you there to keep control of him? What were you doing?
I was holding him by his arm.
Where were you standing relative to where he was standing?
At first, while Officer Smith was searching him to the right, I was to the left of Mr. Magoo. After he finished searching him to the right, we switched positions. I went to the right side, Officer Smith to his left.
So Mr. Magoo is currently facing a vehicle,
Yes.
and you're standing behind him to his right or to his left, depending on what side of him is being searched.
Yes, ma'am.
What happened while Officer Smith was searching the defendant?
Mr. Magoo made a couple other statements. I don't really know. I really don't remember what those were. I do remember he made a statement about dashing or scatting, which is kind of like implicating he might run. At that point, I put my arm through here and kind of held him up against the car.
Why did you do that?
Mentioned about running.
Why would putting his arm up and holding him against the car, why would you do that if somebody mentioned they might run? To keep him what?
To keep control.
To keep control. Okay, what happened next?
At that point, Officer Smith was searching the left side of him. He asked about, were you guys looking for a lottery ticket? He said, I didn't have anything in my pocket. At that point, Mr. Magoo, he kind of flinched a little bit one time. So I put my arm up a little bit more just to gain a little bit more control. And at that point, he kicked up with his right leg and caught me in the groin area.
His leg hit you in the groin area while you were standing behind him? And were you wearing a body worn camera on this night? Have you had a chance to review a copy of the recording from your body worn camera today?
Yes, ma'am.
Was it a fair and accurate depiction of the original recording and of what happened that night? Now, I move to admit People's Exhibit 1, Darnell Tyson's body worn camera that has previously been disclosed to defendant in discovery. I'm going to be playing. if
Any
it's
objection to its admission?
I object to we don't need to play the video. I would rather-
Whether we need to play it. What is your objection?
My objection is I would like to finish hearing the testimony before we play the series of events that Mr. Tyson has already had time to review himself.
Would the court like a response?
Objection is overruled. You may go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. And is the exhibit admitted?
Yes, exhibits admitted.
Thank you. And with the court's permission, I'd like to play from the beginning of the video to about the 4-minute and 10-second mark.
All right, that's fine. Video was saved up. I've admitted it. If your objection is as to relevance, clearly what occurred that day is absolutely relevant and central to its issue in this case. So your objection to relevance is overruled. Ms. Londa, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, please, what have you talked to me? Please, what I was talking for. So we're going to this is going on about, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What's I'm telling you, I'm not being right now out here. Do you understand me? You think I'm drunk? Walk away. Here, walk away. No, I'm telling you that right now, sir. You got to go to me. No, she has not the bag. I just told you. Walk away. Walk away. All you have to do is walk away. Sit. Say that no sense. Okay, that's fine. All you have to do is walk away. All right? This is illegal. You can't do this. You understand that? Okay, okay, you don't get it. Put him in your car. Stand up. All right, put him in the back seat. Come on. You know, you're supposed to sing your army. Do you? Do you? I'll ask you one more time. What did you say? You let me openly stick me on Harvey? Right. Very simple. So yes or no? All right. What are you looking for? A lottery ticket? No. Chill out, dog. No. Oh, it's scam? You looking for a lottery ticket? How about an iPhone? What looking for? I'm looking at you. I'm not looking for nothing, but I need some. I'm looking, you're not gonna do it. You're not. Come on. Neil, what are you looking at, dog? What are you not going to do? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Officer Tyson, at any time did you give the defendant permission to assault you? Did you at any time give the defendant permission to kick his leg back into your crotch?
Objection. I didn't see any physical harm.
I heard the testimony.
What was that?
What's your objection?
I object. We watched the video and you're trying to lay that there's evidence of harm. I've seen no harm. We watched it and not once was
What is your objection?
Huh?
Your
Perjury. That's my objection.
Perjury? Seriously?
Yeah.
Overruled. Go ahead.
You're trying to confirm that it happened based off the video and it.
No, Mr. Magoo, here's how it works. You don't address the prosecutor at all. You address the court.
I thought she was the trier of the case, Your Honor. You're the trier of facts.
I don't know what you're talking about. What I have just instructed you is you will not address the prosecutor directly. Is there anything unclear about what I just said?
Yeah, fundamentally, I thought that you're the trier of the facts, Your Honor.
Is there anything unclear with what I have just said?
I'll try to understand what you're saying here. I'll try to avoid that.
Is there anything unclear about what I have just said? I'm going to give you one more shot to answer them. I need an answer, Mr.
Your Honor. You're telling me I'm not.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. We're not to address the prosecutor. If you need to address the prosecutor, Commissioner Magoo, you can ask the court prior to your addressing, because I'm not going to have your behavior toward anybody in this courtroom. Understood?
I understand that.
Thank you. Ms. Lundy, anything further?
Ask the witness.
Cross-examination.
Hey, good afternoon, sir. Can you state your name and badge number for the record, please, just for my end?
Thompson, 39.
Yeah, thank you. What was your assignment on October 11th? Approximately 2:50 in the morning.
We're dispatched, like I said, to Michigan Avenue reference bike.
Okay. And at that time, when you showed up to the, where did you, it was a parking lot? Public parking lot? Okay. At that time, did you ID anybody that was suspect to the dispatch that you were called to? No active fights? Do you remember the dispatch record, how they described the people? Was I an interference of any medical emergency? Was I in, what was your reason for contact with me?
We got there, we saw a gentleman sitting on the ground. We saw alcoholic beverages that were open, and he was slumped over.
Okay, so alcohol, a gentleman slumped over, and then me.
Yes, sir.
So what was your reason to engage with me?
Reason for coming up was not to engage you.
This courtroom hearing exploded before it even truly began. The defendant stood before the court on a felony charge, resisting and obstructing a police officer, punishable by up to 2 years in prison. But instead of focusing on the charge, he challenged the court itself. He declared he was making a special appearance and did not consent to the court's personal jurisdiction. The judge didn't hesitate. He responded firmly. The court has jurisdiction over both the person and the case. Any disagreement was legally insufficient and irrelevant. Then the testimony began. An officer described arriving at a late-night scene where 2 men stood near a vehicle. One appeared intoxicated. Alcohol bottles were visible. The officers were investigating a reported fight. According to the officer, the defendant refused commands to step away. When officers attempted to detain him, he allegedly resisted. During a search, the officer testified that the defendant hinted he might run, and then suddenly kicked backward, striking him in the groin. Body camera footage was introduced into evidence. The defendant objected repeatedly, questioning relevance, challenging procedures, and even accusing the officer of perjury. At one point, he began directly addressing the prosecutor instead of the court. That's when the judge stepped in sharply. He warned the defendant not to address the prosecutor directly and made it clear that courtroom rules would be enforced, whether he had a lawyer or not. The message was unmistakable. Self-representation does not mean self-rule. Jurisdiction arguments don't override criminal charges. And courtroom authority will not be challenged without consequence. This wasn't just about resisting arrest. It became a battle over control, and the judge made sure everyone knew who had it.